In a surprising twist of fate, Mildred Carter, once humiliated at her favorite coffee shop, returns not as a customer but as the new owner. With quiet determination and grace, she confronts the very barista who dismissed her, turning the tables in a way he never saw coming. As the staff and regulars begin to realize who she truly is, the atmosphere shifts from one of casual disregard to profound respect. What unfolds next is a story of transformation, humility, and the power of unexpected second chances. The coffee shop, and everyone in it, will never be the same again. But before we dive in, leave a comment and let us know where you are watching from today. And if this story speaks to you, hit that subscribe button for more amazing stories. Mildred Carter was a woman of quiet dignity and hidden strength. Though her life had seen its share of struggles, Mildred had carved out a fulfilling life for herself through hard work, saving, and a resilient spirit that only strengthened with age. But one dreary afternoon, she found herself in a situation that would test her patience and ultimately change her life in unexpected ways. Mildred had gone out for her afternoon coffee, a small indulgence she enjoyed as she savored the quiet moments. Little did she know, this particular day would alter the course of her future. The cozy, bustling coffee shop downtown was known for its great lattes and charming atmosphere, and Mildred had become a regular over the past few months. Despite her love for this spot, she noticed a strange chill in the air when she walked in that day. The barista at the counter, a young man with a stylish apron and an air of impatience, barely glanced her way as she approached. "Hi there," Mildred began, smiling warmly. "I'd like a small latte, please." The barista finally looked up, giving her a quick, dismissive once-over before muttering, "We're kind of busy right now. Maybe come back later, ma'am." Mildred was taken aback. She was in no hurry and could wait if they needed more time, but something in the young man's tone suggested he wasn't interested in serving her at all. She stood her ground politely, but his sigh and impatient glance at his watch made it clear she was an unwelcome customer. After a moment he snapped, "Look, if you can't decide on your order quickly, maybe you shouldn't come here during peak hours. We have a lot of people waiting." Hurt and humiliated, Mildred felt her cheeks flush as other customers began to stare. She'd simply wanted a cup of coffee, but now she was a public spectacle. Lowering her gaze, she managed a quiet, "Thank you," and left the shop, her heart heavy with a mix of sadness and quiet anger. Mildred left quietly but with a growing sense of resolve. As she walked back to her modest apartment, Mildred couldn't shake the memory of the barista's look. It was as though she had been invisible, someone whose presence wasn't worth acknowledging. The feeling brought back memories of other times in her life when she had been dismissed or overlooked. She had worked hard to create a modest but secure life after her husband passed away, and she'd been careful with her finances, preserving the small inheritance he had left her. But this moment of disrespect sparked something within her, a reminder that she was not invisible, not someone to be brushed aside. That night, Mildred made a decision. She was tired of living in the background. She would not let herself be treated with such disregard ever again. After a restless night, she woke early, feeling a new energy, and picked up the phone to call her attorney. Her late husband had left her with a respectable inheritance, one she rarely touched, preferring to live a simple life. But now, she had a purpose for it. Her attorney was initially surprised when she explained her plan, but he quickly understood her determination. Mildred wanted to buy the coffee shop that had dismissed her so easily. She wanted to transform that place, not just for herself but as a symbol of respect for people like her who were often overlooked. The wheels of fate began to turn. The coffee shop was filled with its usual crowd, young professionals, college students, and locals grabbing their daily caffeine fix. The staff bustled around, entirely unaware of the quiet, determined woman walking through the doors. Mildred entered, her eyes sweeping over the space with a thoughtful gaze. She was no longer the regular customer brushed aside. She was here as the new franchise owner. A successful bid had allowed her to purchase the shop along with several other locations in the city. She hadn't just bought the coffee shop, she had secured the franchise rights. She now had a say in how the business would operate. The barista who had dismissed her that day, Paul, was behind the counter, training a new employee. He glanced over and, for a moment, didn't recognize her. But as she approached the counter, his expression faltered. Mildred, dressed elegantly in a crisp blazer and with a new air of confidence, smiled at him. "Good morning, everyone," she greeted the staff warmly. "I'm Mildred Carter, the new owner of this establishment. The room went silent as the staff exchanged surprised looks. The manager, who had just been informed of the new ownership, stepped forward with a forced smile. He was clearly uneasy, likely having heard about the incident but unaware that Mildred was the one involved. Mildred turned to Paul, the barista who had dismissed her, a polite but firm expression on her face. "Paul, could I speak with you in my office?" she asked. He paled slightly and followed her into the back office. As they sat across from each other in her new office, a modest but bright room tucked away at the back of the shop, Mildred maintained a composed expression, but inside, she was determined to address the matter. "Paul," she began gently, "I want you to know why I chose to buy this coffee shop." He shifted uncomfortably in his seat, avoiding her eyes. "The day I came in here and was turned away, I felt a familiar pain, a feeling of being disregarded, as if I didn't matter. I've spent years living humbly, and while I may not appear like your usual customer, everyone deserves respect, don't you think?" Paul swallowed, his face a mix of guilt and shame. I'm sorry, ma'am," he stammered. "I didn't mean to make you feel that way." Mildred's expression softened. "I believe you. But actions speak louder than words, and respect should be at the heart of what we do here." She paused, allowing her words to sink in. "I want to give you a chance, Paul. As long as you're willing to treat every customer with the kindness and dignity they deserve." Paul, moved and humbled, nodded earnestly. "Thank you, Ms. Carter. I won't let you down." Over the next few weeks, Mildred worked side by side with her new employees, training them not only in customer service but in kindness and respect. The coffee shop began to thrive under her ownership, attracting a loyal customer base who valued the warm, welcoming environment. Mildred's presence brought a sense of community that had been missing before, and soon, the shop became known not just for its coffee but for the spirit of generosity and care that she fostered. In time, Paul became one of the most popular baristas in the shop, known for his friendliness and attentiveness to each customer. He had learned a valuable lesson and now took pride in making every person who walked in feel welcome. As Mildred watched her coffee shop flourish, she realized her decision had brought her unexpected fulfillment. She had transformed a moment of pain into a powerful change, not just in her life but in the lives of those around her. Her story became one of quiet triumph, a testament to the idea that respect and kindness can open doors, change hearts, and turn the ordinary into something extraordinary. Mildred had once felt invisible, but now she was known and appreciated for the values she brought to the shop. She didn't just own a coffee shop, she had built a legacy, one cup of coffee at a time. Her life had taken on new meaning, and she was no longer overlooked but valued, a true testament to the power of resilience and respect.